Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring, the concept of unselfish service,
Okay.
what it, truly means, and why it matters.
Yeah.
We'll be diving deep into excerpts from a 2018 talk titled "The Joy of Unselfish Service."
Okay.
Get ready for a surprising story about a chocolate cake with a truly special secret ingredient,
Interesting.
and some profound insights from, scriptures and modern day leaders.
It's interesting how this talk begins.
Yeah.
The speaker, Cristina Franco, starts by mentioning the uncomfortable chairs
Oh.
she had to sit in while giving this presentation.
Huh.
It's a subtle reminder that even giving a talk can be an act of service.
Right.
And it makes me wonder, have we ever stopped to think about the hidden acts of service that go unnoticed all around us?
It's a good point. We often think of service as these grand gestures,
Right.
but sometimes it's the small, everyday acts that make a real difference.
Yeah.
Speaking of those seemingly small acts, Franco tells a story about a woman named Sister Victoria Antonietti, a primary teacher who brought a delicious chocolate cake to her class every week.
And here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Franco loved that cake.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until years later that she learned about the extraordinary sacrifice behind it.
Turns out, Sister Antonietti and her family didn't have a lot of money.
Okay.
Each week, she had to choose between buying ingredients for the cake
Mhm.
or paying for bus fare.
Oh, wow.
And she chose the cake every single time,
Yeah.
walking over 2 miles each way
Wow.
with her 4 children, rain or shine.
Now that story resonates with the parable of the widow's mite, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We know the story.
Yeah.
Jesus observing people making donations at the temple,
Uh-huh.
some giving large sums, likely for recognition.
Yeah.
Then comes this widow
Uh.
who gives just 2 small coins, her
Oh.
entire livelihood.
And Jesus points her out,
Yeah.
saying she gave more than all the others because she gave sacrificially from her want.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that true giving isn't about the amount, but about the heart and the sacrifice behind it.
It makes you think about the psychology of giving, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why do some people give so generously,
Yeah.
even when they have little themselves?
Right.
Is it empathy? The sense of duty?
Interesting.
Or perhaps, as some research suggests,
Okay.
there's a biological component to it,
Uh-huh.
a helper's high, that triggers reward centers in the brain.
That's a fascinating point.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a deeper connection between service and happiness than we realize.
I think so.
But let's get back to the talk.
Oh.
Franco uses these stories to prompt some serious introspection.
Yeah.
She asks us,
Okay.
are we giving our all to the Lord without reservation?
Mm-hmm.
Are we sacrificing our time and talents to help others?
Right.
Are we ministering diligently and with care?
Uh-huh.
Are we living the 2 great commandments, to love God and to love his children?
These are tough questions.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in our own lives and forget to look outward. But her words challenge us to consider the depth of our commitment to service.
Mm-hmm.
Are we simply going through the motions?
Yeah.
Or are we truly striving to emulate the selfless love exemplified by Sister Antonietti
Right.
and the widow in the parable?
And to emphasize this point,
Okay.
Franco brings in the teachings of President Dallin H. Oaks,
Okay.
who said that unselfish service often involves setting aside our own convenience.
Mm-hmm.
He highlights that true joy comes from giving, not getting.
That statement has profound implications for our daily lives, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How often do we let our own comfort or convenience dictate our willingness to serve?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we decline to help a neighbor because we're tired.
Right.
Or we choose to stay home instead of attending a service project because it's inconvenient.
Right.
President Oak's words challenge us to reevaluate our priorities
Yeah.
and consider how often we prioritize ourselves over the needs of others.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Sometimes we can get so caught up in the, big picture of service
Mm-hmm.
that we overlook the simple, everyday acts of kindness that can have such a profound impact.
Franco touches on that very idea.
Mm-hmm.
She shares a personal anecdote about sitting in the back row during a meeting, emphasizing that it doesn't matter where you sit,
Okay.
or even if you have to step out to help someone.
What matters, she
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
is that you came with a desire to serve, that you notice and greet people with a smile,
Right.
and that you extend friendship,
Yeah.
especially to those who might not have someone looking out for them.
It's about bringing that spirit of service with you wherever you go,
Right.
being present, being aware,
Yeah.
and being ready to lend a helping hand.
And it reminds me of something we were discussing earlier,
Like
the
that.
concept of the helper's high.
Right.
Studies have shown that acts of kindness can trigger the release of endorphins, leading to feelings of happiness and well-being.
That's right.
So not only does service benefit others, it can actually have a positive impact on our own mental and emotional health.
Exactly.
That's so interesting. It's like a win-win situation.
It is.
We get to feel good while doing good for others.
And it's not just about grand gestures or heroic acts.
Okay.
It's about those small, consistent acts of service that truly make a difference.
Like
holding a door open for someone,
right.
offering a listening ear to a friend in need,
Yeah.
or simply taking the time to write a thoughtful note to someone who might be feeling down.
Yeah.
These might seem like insignificant actions,
Right.
but they can have a ripple effect,
Right.
spreading kindness and positivity far beyond what we can imagine.
That brings us back to Sister Antonietti and her chocolate cake.
Okay.
Franco reminds us that it wasn't really about the cake itself.
Right.
It was about the love and sacrifice behind it.
Ah, the secret ingredient. We all have our own secret ingredient when it comes to serving others.
Yeah.
It might be our talents or our ability to listen with empathy. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's that something special we bring to the table when we choose to put the needs of others before our own.
It's about that genuine desire to make someone else's life a little bit better,
Yeah.
to ease their burdens, and to bring them joy.
And in doing so, we often discover a profound truth
What's that?
that we receive more than we give.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful paradox of service.
But let's be realistic. Service isn't always easy.
True.
It can be challenging. It can require sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it can sometimes feel thankless.
True. But the rewards far outweigh the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
There's a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you've made a positive impact on someone's life.
Right.
And as we've seen in these stories,
Yeah.
anyone can be a giver.
Uh-huh.
You don't need wealth or status to make a difference.
Okay.
It's all about the willingness to share what you have,
Right.
no matter how small it may seem.
What stands out to me is that service isn't just about the person we're serving. It's also about the impact it has on us. It refines our character,
Right.
expands our capacity for empathy,
Yeah.
and connects us to something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
It helps us tap into that innate desire to love and serve just as Christ did.
Beautifully put. I think that's what makes Franco's message so compelling.
Yeah.
She isn't just telling us to serve others.
Right.
She's inviting us to embark on a journey of self-discovery, to uncover our own unique secret ingredient,
Okay.
and to experience the transformative power of unselfish service,
Yeah.
both for ourselves and for those around us.
Right.
It's a message that resonates deeply with the teachings of President Thomas S. Monson, who said,
Okay.
in reality, you can never love the Lord until you serve him by serving his people.
So as we approach the end of our deep dive into the joy of unselfish service,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways that our listeners can carry with them?
Right.
What are those nuggets of wisdom that can help us translate these inspiring stories and teachings into action in our daily lives?
Well, one thing that really resonates with me is that, service doesn't have to be about these monumental tasks or grand gestures.
Yeah.
It's about those everyday acts of kindness and compassion.
You're absolutely right. It's that smile you offer a stranger,
Yeah.
the helping hand you lend a neighbor,
Right.
being present and attentive to those around us
Mm-hmm.
and responding to their needs with a generous heart.
It's about choosing to see the good in others,
Mm-hmm.
to lift them up and to make their journey a little brighter.
Yeah.
It's about remembering Sister Antonietti choosing to walk miles
Yeah.
so her primary class could have that chocolate cake,
Right. Oh.
or the widow giving her all,
Mm-hmm.
even though it seems small to others.
What fascinates me is that this idea of unselfish service.
Yeah.
It transcends cultures, religions, and backgrounds.
Right.
It's a universal language that speaks to the very core of our humanity.
It reminds us that despite our differences, we're all connected and have a responsibility to care for one another.
And it's in caring for others that we discover the true meaning of joy and fulfillment.
That's right.
As we heard earlier, President Monson said, "In reality, you can never love the Lord until you serve him by serving his people."
That's a powerful statement.
It's a powerful reminder that service is inextricably linked to our spiritual growth and connection with the divine.
It's about tapping into that divine spark within us,
Yeah,
that innate desire to love and serve as Christ did.
right.
And that's what makes Franco's message so enduring. She's not just advocating for service.
Right.
She's inviting us to discover the profound joy and fulfillment that comes from living a life centered around selfless giving.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the joy of unselfish service, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
What's your secret ingredient when it comes to serving others?
Yeah.
What act of service, big or small, can you do today with a heart full of love and genuine sacrifice?
That's a great question.
What small act of kindness, like Sister Antonietti's cake, will you choose to make someone's day just a little bit brighter?
The world needs your unique gifts and talents
Mm-hmm.
and the ripple effects of your kindness.
Right.
Those unseen acts of service will be felt far and wide.
Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time for another journey beneath the surface.